And even the ins and outs of like the plumbing and all of that stuff.
So if one is, when you actually start, and let's say you don't want to start like when you're talking about on the smaller scale. So let's say a mid-sized scale. It seems, and I'm only asking because you mentioned plumbing. You're going to have to get some trades folks involved to, I guess, help you assist with the piping systems and all of that. Well, as I guess when you were talking about the fish waste that leave out, I guess, one way, but go up to feed into the plant. So you're going to have to help somebody, of course, to help you facilitate all that.
Yes.
Now, does that, let's say a mid-range system, does it require a lot of electricity, or is this like a propulsion system?
For the most part, you want your system, large or small, to be a gravity-fed system.
Okay.
You don't need to have too much electricity. You definitely have to have a pump. Actually, you have to have a water pump and you have to have an air pump. But you don't want it to have to be so much electricity.
Okay.
So we have our team who, like for instance, say you wanted to build a aquaponics system. We have a team that can come and actually set it up and show you how everything goes and all of that stuff. That's what we would do. Now you could definitely test out things and figure it out yourself. I actually suggest that people do it because you know your
growing pains a little bit more difficult too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Because they're definitely growing pains. It's a lot, but you can either hire people to help you or you can figure it out yourself.
So my next question then, does your company do setups? Would you say, could you do setups, let's say continent wide, or are you just setting up now with your team in Ghana?
So our team is actually set up in Guinea right now.
Oh, in Guinea. Okay.
The objective is to have systems continent wide. We have so many people who want to partner with us and we've had offers to open systems in Sierra Leone and Senegal and Ivory Coast and Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya. Like, it's been a lot.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah. The thing is, with most businesses on the continent, the main problem is capital. The issue. And so for us right now, we want to, COVID really put a damper on things as far as businesses, because we're a niche business market. Like, our market is a niche. So all of the restaurants that we deliver to, we had 2 restaurants and a hotel in Conakry. And of course, for COVID, they shut down. And so that did hurt our business a little bit. Yes. But, it is what it is. Many businesses are suffering during this time.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you just kind of dust yourself off and keep it moving.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, what that tells me too, Bequita, is that then your scaling up is going to be at a gradual pace. Because think about all the countries you just mentioned that people are saying to you, please, you and your business partner, please come. If you had just tried to, let's say you had got an infusion of cash and you did that, and then you see what we're in now, you probably would have experienced that with like what you're experiencing.
The thing is, and for us, what our business model, we are attacking a problem that we have in it's all over Africa, but in West Africa right now, our focus is the fact that almost 80% of the food that people are consuming is being imported.
Why?
Yeah. I don't understand, why are we importing so much food? So in an effort to disrupt the market of importing certain foods that go into the hotels and the restaurants and the supermarkets and all of these things, one of our ways to disrupt that market was to market to them directly. So once we were in motion, everybody wanted us to supply them, but then you have some other stuff that comes up with that. So this is not only do you have to do things gradually, but you got to build certain relationships and all sorts of things, because you can be disrupting a market, and people don't take kindly to their market being disrupted by certain things. So I say that is the best thing to do is to ease your way.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, pace yourself, because you got them big boys out there who will knock you clean out the water.
Well, so, I'm sure. It's kind of like, when you think about Dangote in Nigeria, and once his refinery is completed.
Yeah.
You're talking about him eliminating billions of dollars of income for foreign refineries.
Exactly.
Take on all of the entire west of Africa.
Yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying, sister. I got you.
Yeah. Okay. I think a lot of times I think our people don't take, it's so much to take into consideration when we're doing these things. So, one of the main things is, like, my business partner has been living on the continent for 9 years now. So she's been building her relationships for a long time. I've been back and forth since 2014, building these relationships. We can't just, it's very odd to me when I see people tell folks that they could just come and start a business. It's not that easy. You need to build the relationships out so that you can start these businesses, because people will shut you down before you can even get started good.
Yes. It is interesting that you say that, because I've lived on the continent before myself. It was a long time ago. But what I recognize even still to this day is that being with the community, so you can understand how things maneuver in regards, we're not saying that you have to give up everything about yourself.
Right, absolutely.
You're going to have to give up, but you have to understand that typically continental Africans are collective, they're communal. And so as Americans, people in the West, that's not our nature per se. That's not how we grew up. You do that, let's say, with your immediate family, but not with an entire community. Right. And so I think what you said is very important, because people are going to find out through the hard way by just going in and just, doing whatever. And then they're going to end up getting their feelings hurt, as well as possibly losing lots of money, because they're not. So I appreciate you mentioning that. So that was a good gem as well. we have to be mindful of that, because what people don't realize too, Bequita, is that when you move to a foreign country, this is not like moving to a different city. It's a lot to intake.
No, it's not.
And, there are laws and cultural norms that one need to be aware of.
You got to be aware of it, and you can't just watch YouTube videos and figure it out. You have to get on the ground. I literally had someone in a comment section of one of my videos who was making a lot of assertions and assumptions about what it looks like to live on the ground. And I'm like, it doesn't quite work that way. People think that we're just going to come and learn the language. We're going to come and learn. You're not going to learn everything in a short period of time.
That is correct.
You're going to have to put in some long, hard work. You're not going to just start a business out the gate. That's just not, I don't even care. I don't care how much money you have. You can have all of the money, but if you have none of the connections that it takes, you're going to be still sitting on the outside looking in. And that happens. I've seen it happen myself with many people who had plenty of money. I've seen in Guinea alone, I've seen many big factories built. They put all of this money into these factories, but they had no idea about how things work. Are the people going to know how to operate these machines? Are the people going to know how? Are you going to put in the time that it's training for that to make it work? I literally spent a year and a half with my team in Guinea after we had theoretical training. A year and a half.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But you're absolutely correct. There's a gentleman on here. He is called, I've had him on my channel before as well, Bequita. His name is Exodus 876.
Okay.
His intention is, his ideology is that people, before they decide to move onto the continent, they should have visited that place 10 times. That's what he says. He says, because if you go there 10 times, each time you're going to see something different that you didn't capture the first time. And then you can decide, okay, well, can I live with this? Can I not live with this? Is this doable? You're going to learn the ins and outs of basically the community. And so it's interesting, but that's what he said.
And that's going there 10 times and actually, and not living in like a hotel or living in a posh Airbnb. Living in just a regular house where it's just regular people who do regular things. So you can get a better understanding of what that could look like. And for me, I think it's quite odd that people would want to get up, go and start a business, but you've never even lived in the place. Like, how does that work? How does it work? You don't even know how to go from point A to point B yet. Like, how does that work? You can't just jump up.
It's going to be difficult if you're not collective. That's just it. That's just it. It's going to be difficult if you're not willing to get on the ground and be with the community. It's going to be very, very. I've lived in several countries on many continents, and each of them are unique in their own way. And I can't say what works here is going to work there, and what I do here is what I can do there, et cetera, et cetera. So people have to be mindful and receptive. The biggest thing is being receptive, because what I notice, and I've been to a lot of places, is that as Americans, we are the most pompous people I've ever met in my life. We are just heinous with that, and we have got to stop. And sometimes, we do it unconsciously. Just it's in us. It's in us because of how we've been reared in school.
Exactly.
And we're better than everybody. So we're going to have to check ourselves immediately with that, or we're going to be up for failure. So I am glad that we're having this discussion, because you're absolutely correct. And it's different when, let's say, if I'm talking about this versus somebody new has come onto the channel and they're talking about it to basically solidify what I've already said. It's like, she don't know. I've been to 20 African nations. I know a whole lot.
I mean,